The development of the tank in World War I was a response to the growing stalemate on the Western Front. Although vehicles incorporating the basic principles of the tank armor, firepower, and all-terrain mobility had been projected in the decade or so before the war, the enormous casualties at the start of its trench warfare driving development, research carried out in Great Britain and France. Renault FT, or often referred to as FT-17, is a light tank developed by France in World War I. This light tank is the first operational tank equipped with a turret that can rotate 360 degrees. The design of this tank is different from other tanks in World War I and is often called the first modern tank in history. Renault FT-17 produced more than 3,000 units and operated by more than 20 countries. Development in 1916. Britain became the country that used tanks in World War I. However, the tanks in the early days were large, heavy, and slow, while the French military leadership preferred to make light tanks in large numbers, which were able to move more agile to support the advance of infantry troops. The prototype Renault FT itself was made in mid-1917 and began to enter production at the end of 1917. Specification: this light tank is manned by 2 people, the driver and commander, who also served as a drain and enemac, with a weight of about 7 tons, and uses a 35 horsepower engine. Renault FT-17 only has a speed of about 7 km per hour, with a range of about 35 km. This tank is made with 2 versions of weapons: Hotchkiss M19 14 caliber 8mm machine gun or Cannon Puteaux SA 18 caliber 37mm. Renault FT-17 began to be used in combat in early 1918. In addition to the French Army, this tank was also used by the United States Tank Forces in World War I, led by George Patton. After World War I ended, this tank was widely exported to several countries and involved in a number of armed conflicts, such as the Russian Civil War, the Spanish Civil War, and the Chinese Civil War. When World War II broke out, the Renault FT-17 was still used by French, Polish, and Yugoslav troops to fight German tank forces. Finland also still used the FT-17 to face Soviet troops. After France was conquered by Germany in 1940, Germany captured more than 1,000 units of Renault FT-17. Renault FT-17 booty was then used by Germany for airfield security tasks, internal security, and also for training purposes. The last battle involving the Renault FT-17 in World War II occurred in 1944, when this tank was used by Germany to deal with Allied forces after the Normandy landings. After World War II ended, this tank was still used in the Arab-Israeli War in 1948.